Something I struggled with when I first started going to the gym seriously for the first time in my life was when is the best time to start going to the gym? When is the best time in your day to go to the gym? Now, also, I want this to apply to the guys that go and have full time jobs as well. But if you just want a quick and simple answer, find a time, stick with it, call it a day. Don't change it. Now, for the people that actually want a full explanation, I hope you enjoyed the video. So, when is the best time to, well, start going to the gym? Especially if, like, let's say you have a free day. If you have a full time job, I'll get into that later. But for the people that have just a free day, a day off, stuff like that, if you're working part time, what I'd recommend is, and this is going off of what has worked for me, okay? If you feel like you work better at night, which I suggest you shouldn't do anyway, you can pretty much do the opposite if you can figure it out. But what I do is I optimize for going to the gym as early as possible within this time frame. So assume this is the beginning, right? This is the beginning of my day. The moment I wake up, I get some work done. I either work on my certificate or I work on my YouTube channel, or I do one of those two. But the moment I finish that, I have some breakfast and I go straight to the gym. I don't do anything else. I make a beeline straight for the gym right around here. All right. The reason being is because when you wake up, your body just shoots all of the serotonin into your body, basically. It wakes you up and your body's at its highest energetic. It's just, you feel awake. Ironically, yes, you feel, wow, geez, I glitched. I got to cut that out. Nice. You feel awake. All right. You feel like you can actually get things done now. So within this time period, I'd recommend going to the gym. You gotta have your most amount of energy. Now, you could also do it here too. You have another energy booster around the middle of the day. However, I wouldn't recommend doing that because it allows you to have time to procrastinate. Over here is where you start wondering what else can you do. You start to be like, I've done the things I wanted to do in the morning. If you do that, you've had your breakfast, you've done everything, but then you got this weird period of time before you go to the gym. You don't want to allow yourself time to think. That's where your mind wanders and you start procrastinating and you don't actually go to the gym at this time. Instead, chances are you're not going to the gym at around this time period, later on in the day, nearing the night period. Now, let's talk about why you shouldn't do nighttime. So essentially, aim for daytime, especially the morning, you're golden. That's the end of the video for most people. Now, I'm going to tell you why you shouldn't do the nighttime. The reason why you shouldn't do the nighttime is because around here, before bed, if you start to raise your blood level, if you start to raise your heartbeat around this time period, your body's going to basically try to maintain that for as long as possible. Because assuming that it just got into some high intensity something that it required them to fight for their life, essentially. And because of that, your body's going to try to stay awake as long as possible. It's going to stay alert. And you don't need that before bed. You need to start calming yourself down. You need to have a routine for going to bed. So if you don't have a bedtime routine and you start going to the gym around this time, you're not going to have great sleep. Your body's not going to be relaxed. Yes, you'll be able to sleep, but you're not going to have a good quality of sleep. Learn the difference. Learn the difference. Now, when I was younger as well, when I first started going to the gym, I actually tended to go to the gym just before nighttime as well, just before my bedtime, around like 7 p.m. Very stupid decision. It was fun, don't get me wrong, but that was some of the worst sleep I ever had in my life. Matter of fact, that was around the same time in my life when I was going to bed at about 5 a.m. Don't even ask how I managed to do that. I just started to go to bed at around 5 a.m. And yeah, didn't get anything done. So once again, just to remind you, have a bedtime routine, right? Okay, have a nighttime routine and a morning routine. The reason being is so that your day is structured and nothing interferes with it. The reason why I made it so simple is that obviously the middle of the day is where things actually happen. So why don't you get the things which actually matter to you out of the way, like first thing in the morning, especially considering on your days off, not much is actually going on that early in the morning. If you wake up at like 6 a.m., what is actually happening at 6 a.m. that requires you to focus, like regarding your relationships? Not much. So just consider it just you time. And that you time could be used for business, for the gym, for anything else that is very important to you. Everything else afterwards can come after, especially around this time period during the middle of the day. I say aim to get everything done around this time. So that's literally it. Very short video. It's not my highest quality video, but it's still a video nonetheless. And I hope you enjoyed it. Have a great day.